Hey guys, welcome back. This is your host Phil from underKG.com, and this is the Samsung Galaxy A7 2018. The entire lineup is now quite complicated. There's a classic Galaxy A3, 5, 7, and 9 after that, and then there's a new 6, 6 Plus, 8, 8 Plus, and then there's a new 7 2018. What's the deal with that? I don't know, but let's go ahead and take a look. This is the display. It's quite large with the tall ratio, and there's a bit of bezel top and bottom, left, right, but it doesn't really annoy me that much. It still counts as one of those infinity displays. On the back, there's an array of triple cameras, LED flash, Samsung logo, and this entire piece is actually a glass. What's not is the frame. It's not made out of metal. This is made out of plastic, and also it lacks a USB-C port on the bottom, so you have to rely on the old school micro USB port instead. And unlike the predecessor, it doesn't come with any kind of weather protection. Now the display is a Full HD Plus AMOLED panel with the pen-tile layout, and it's got the always-on display, so you can tap twice on those notification icons and it's gonna directly take you to the app that sent it. Now the screen itself isn't all that special. It's just another Samsung AMOLED panel. It's bright enough for everyday users. Outside legibility is fine. The color tone is somewhat fluorescent, but you can adjust that through the number of screen mode, including adaptive, AMOLED Cinema, AMOLED Photo, and Basic. And for adaptive display, you get the full screen color balance from cool to warm, or the individual RGB color levels if you wish to set them manually. Now, software-wise, it doesn't pack the latest one. It has Android 8.0 Oreo, not 8.1 nor 9 Pie. So icons look the same. You can swipe up to bring up the app drawer. You can close it back. And there's the usual goodies like swipe screen capture, and you can scroll capture that to the part that you can't see on one screen. And interestingly, you see the fingerprint sensor right there, just like the older Sony devices, combined with the power button. They included the sensor gestures for that as well, so you can just swipe on the sensor and bring down the notification bar. But it was kind of a little too sensitive for me. The ever so slight swipe brought the notification bar. It annoyed me, so I ended up turning it off. Another interesting feature is the full screen gestures. Instead of the bar right there, you can opt in for the full screen gestures with those little corners at the bottom. You can swipe from each end of the corner for back, home, and multitasking, just like some Xiaomi or OnePlus devices. But the thing is, they don't work too well. You have to swipe really carefully. I mean, they must have had so much time to do research with, and this lousy implementation is what they came up with. And also, they dropped the support for the MST Samsung Pay, so in the regions where you do not get the NFC Samsung Pay, you simply don't have the Samsung Pay. Performance-wise, it packs Exynos 7885 octa-core processor, which consists of 2 performance cores and 6 of the power-efficient cores. And overall, it's not too bad. It's fast and snappy when it has to. But the thing is, there's a little weird lags here and there. I can't really pinpoint it right now. But usually, when it requires pure performances like calculating something, processing something, loading something really big, this thing excels at that. But everyday tasks like going to the address tab, switching between the multiple tabs that I have, it lags without a proper reason. I don't know why. Now, we have to talk about the cameras. 3 lenses, f1.7 of normal angle, 24 megapixels, f2.4 of wide angle, 8 megapixels, and f2.2 of a depth sensing camera. You can launch the camera by tapping power key twice quickly. The main cam is pretty good. It's got acceptable level of details, punchy colors, and normal amount of noise in low lighting conditions. After all, it's got high resolution and relatively fast aperture of f1.7. Auto HDR helps preserving the tone, and Scene Optimizer automatically recognizes what you see and chooses the right setting for it. All that is fine until you get to the live focus. This is one of the portrait modes, and you should consider this inexistent. It instantly breaks details, edge recognition is acceptable at best. The same goes with the wide angle camera. Even in bright conditions, the 8 megapixel sensor is incredibly tiny to provide any details. It can and does give you the wider view, but the colors are washed out and is super easy to be shaken. Selfie cam also has all those fancy features, including the front LED flash, the smart lighting contour controls, and of course the selfie focus done through the software. It's not that slow in the aperture as f2.0, but it's very shaky. You have to hold it very steady. I'm not entirely satisfied with this. Audio-wise, it's sad that it's worth mentioning, but it does have the headphone jack at the bottom. The wired output is fine, it's not special. For the speaker, instead of the side-mounted ones on the older generations, it has one on the bottom. And it's alright. Volume is just enough for a single person. It mumbles a little. It's not too terrible, it's not great. But it does come with a load of sound effects, including the customizable equalizer, UHQ upscaler, Tube Amp Pro concert hall, and adapt sound, of course. And you can even opt in for the Dolby Atmos for the headphones. Next up, we got the battery, and it was pretty good. Screen on time lasts me about 6 hours, and that of course is under my heavy usage without any Wi-Fi network, widescreen web surfing most of the times. So most of you will be able to get a lot longer than that. But with my usage pattern, this is a good battery life. What's not good at all is the charging speed. I mean, I can deal with the lack of USB-C ports, so you can still charge it. But this doesn't even come with the fast charging capabilities. For half an hour of charging, you only get 29%, an hour for 52%, and fully charging the phone takes 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is incredibly long in 2018 phone, especially at this price range. With all those things said, here we go with the conclusion. I mean, price aside, overall quality isn't bad. It's got a tall display, good main camera, and solid battery life. But the introductory price doesn't make any sense, especially considering that they dropped the full Samsung Pay support, weather protection, metal body, USB-C port, and most importantly, the fast charging support. Simply said, this doesn't feel like an A-series model at all. European prices have already fallen from around 360 euros to 260 euros, and at this price range, it's an okay deal. But everywhere else without that kind of deal, I really can't suggest this phone just because they put more lenses on the back. So that was a quick look on the Galaxy A7 2018. If you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. You can always meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. We'll see you guys later. Ciao.